The ongoing leaks from NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden cause more anger the more they emerge. People across the world are being shown just how much their private lives and private data are being monitored by intelligence services. And I can discuss this whole issue right now, and I'm joined live in the RT studio by Kevin MITNICK, one of the world's most renowned computer hackers. Kevin MITNICK, great to see you here.
Great to be on your show.
Well done. Okay, you're kind of a legend here. So welcome to Moscow, welcome to RT. Great to have you with us. So you actually broke into a national security agency. Tell us a little bit about this story. So why did you do it? When did you do it? How did you do it? Did you do it for fun? I mean,
well, you know,
yeah,
Ed didn't give me the passwords, don't worry. No, I didn't actually break into the NSA. Yeah. Actually, when I was a juvenile, I was interested in hacking into telephone company switches. So I thought, what would be the most interesting thing to wiretap as a kid? And I figured that would be the NSA. So I hacked into a telephone switch in Laurel, Maryland. And this was actually the phone company. And then I was able, through hacking that switch, to be able to intercept an ongoing call between somebody in the National Security Agency. But I only wanted to see if I could do it. So as soon as I heard conversation, it was some man and woman talking, I listened for like 5-10 seconds, and then I hung up and never did it again. It was just to see if I could actually do it.
Oh, I see. The NSA is actually hiring code crackers. Why do they need them?
Well, they need to create, well, actually they need to hire code crackers to increase their capabilities. That's the job of the National Security Agency, is to break codes. So they want to get the best people in the world to help do that.
And according to Edward Snowden, now we can call this name, so according to Edward Snowden's revelations, emails, phone calls, messages are all being tracked. So how far can the government go?
I think they have access to everything, at least in the United States, and probably Britain, Great Britain. I believe they have access to everything because they basically could intercept all the packets going through the backbone of everything. And now there's been some revelations that they've been pretty resourceful at breaking crypto. So now I think they have access to a ton of stuff. I believe it's all about, as Scott McNeely said, I think about 15 years ago, you have no privacy, get over it. And that was the ex-CEO of Sun Microsystems. And I think that quote really holds true today.
You went to jail for some high-profile hacking, right? Do you think the government is still tracking you after all these years?
Maybe only the Russian government, since I'm here in Moscow. No, I doubt it. You know, something comes up where they think that I could have some involvement, maybe, but you know, I'm on the other side. You know, I help companies protect their systems. Companies actually, you know, I still hack today every day. Companies actually hire me to break into their systems, to find their vulnerabilities, so I could tell them what the vulnerabilities are so they could fix them. So it's kind of like Pablo Escobar becoming a pharmacist.
Let's now go back to the Snowden revelations. How do these leaks affect America's national security?
Well, it probably it's very damaging, right? Because this was, it was kind of like how I felt, and a lot of colleagues in the information security world felt. We already felt this was already being done, but there was actually no confirmation. But now there's definite confirmation, and now that the cat is out of the bag, it surely damages national security, because now our adversaries, now potentially terrorists, know our methods of operation, or at least have it confirmed, so now they could change the way they communicate.
And how damaging are they? And talking about Edward Snowden as a person, I mean, is he a traitor or a hero from your point of view?
I think he's a whistleblower. You know, I don't look at him as a traitor. I'm actually glad that he revealed what the National Security Agency was doing, at least against Americans, by violating our constitutional rights to privacy. But I do think, you know, I have some mixed feelings that he did cross the line when he revealed NSA operations that we have against other countries, because as we all know, all countries spy on each other. So no matter who goes rogue, you know, when they start publicizing operations against other countries, like for example, if an FSB agent went rogue and the FSB was doing an operation in Afghanistan, and he published it, it would be bad for Russia. So, you know, I think, you know, I have mixed feelings about it, but I wouldn't classify him as a traitor in my mind.
I see. And actually, you've got hundreds of people are reading your Twitter, and all the questions, we've received loads of questions, hashtagged Ask MITNICK. So
oh, that's interesting.
That's very interesting indeed. So I won't be able to ask them all right now, but make sure when you get home, just read them all and
well, that's exactly
reply
what
to
I planned
all
to do
those
my day in
people.
Moscow, was answer Twitter questions, but I'll be happy to do it here.
Sure, but of course, the most popular one is, how can citizens protect their data and communications while still using popular corporate software and services?
Well, it's pretty scary, because if you know, now with the revelations of Snowden, that allegedly the NSA has approached and partnered with a lot of companies to develop security software, that develop VPN technology. They might have intentionally weakened this technology so they could intercept communications. But an average citizen, probably, if they're not a terrorist, they really are not concerned about an intelligence agency intercepting communications, but more a criminal organization. So the first thing I'd recommend to the average person on the street is use, whenever you're out in the public, or in a hotel, like I'm in a hotel in Moscow, or using public Wi-Fi, is use a VPN service. Because what that immediately does is it takes your data and it kind of puts it in an encrypted envelope, so people can't really intercept and spy on that. So as a consumer, I would think about using a VPN service, and they're pretty cheap. And VPN stands for Virtual Private Network.
Yeah, and actually anything basically can be hacked. What do you think?
Everything can be hacked if your adversary has enough time, money, and resources. And of course, intelligence agencies have unlimited budgets.
Is there any way to stop hackers, like make strict laws or department that will follow such people? Is that possible?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think there's a way to. I mean, hacking has been going on since the 60s, and it's not stopped yet. I mean, I started hacking in the early 90s, and it's only gotten worse. I mean, it hasn't gotten better.
And another popular question on Twitter, is it okay to bank via a phone? By
phone or by internet?
By phone, I guess by internet.
Yeah,
I presume it says by phone.
Well, I look at it this way, like, using my credit card over the internet, I do it all the time, and at least I don't really care if somebody steals my credit card number. You know why? Because at least in America, if there's any fraud on my account, I just simply call the bank and they take the charge off. I have to basically sign a letter, an affidavit that it wasn't me, and the problem goes away. Now, in some countries that might be different, where the consumer has the burden of proof, then I'd be a little bit concerned. But it's really, where does the liability lie? Does it lie with the consumer? Does it lie with the merchant? Does it lie with the bank?
And also, one of our viewers is asking, what are your views regarding the phone Touch ID feature? It's a more specific one.
Oh, from Apple. Oh, yeah, that's where they get your fingerprints. Kind of, it kind of makes you think: could somebody intercept your fingerprint data? Or does Apple store this information? I haven't read much about the Touch ID because it just was, released within the last, I believe, 24 hours. But it kind of makes you think about, well, wow, with all this stuff going on, all the revelations of Snowden, now Apple is getting your fingerprint. Is that stored anywhere, or is it only stored on your device? If your device is stolen, could somebody extract that fingerprint information out of the device to spoof who you are? So these are questions that will be answered later.
Sure. Could a boycott of tech gadgetry like iPod and firms like Verizon and Google, who are selling our info to the NSA, deter them?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so. No. I mean, this is like the form of hacktivism where you have, a group of individuals, whether it's like LulzSec or Anonymous, and they break into stuff and they try to get the media to cover the message they want to send. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't change behavior of a government agency or a company. Basically, they go out and try to prosecute the guys. The thing that I have seen change, and I wouldn't call Snowden an activist, I'd call him a whistleblower, is because of his exposures of what the government has really been doing. Then now that's created change and debate and stuff like that. So that's the only time I've really seen it.
Interesting. Actually, Julian Assange states that NSA spying on citizens is just the tip of the iceberg. So, what else?
Well, maybe what he's alluding to is the spying on heads of state. No, I remember years ago when there was a hack into Vodafone in Greece, and some unknown foreign nationals were allegedly spying on heads of state in Greece. And now, my mind like flashes back to this incident. Now there's some information coming out that our own national security agency might be spying on heads of state. So maybe that's what he's talking about.
Okay. And another question. Have you ever think about a movie based on your story where you are both the subject and actor? It would be awesome, people say.
that would be actually pretty cool. I mean, right now I do have an agent that's trying to shop my new book, Ghost in the Wires.
Yeah.
It's a New York Times bestseller, and we're trying to get it made into a motion picture. I don't know if I'd actually become an actor or a consultant on the movie, but it's in the works. It's tough in Hollywood because Hollywood gets approached with ideas, hundreds of ideas a year, or maybe even thousands, and they only pick, a very small, a small number of those projects to actually make into a movie.
Do you regret of being a hacker?
I regret any problems I cause companies or consumers. I caused damages because I hacked into their systems, and they had to go in and figure out, what did he do, and they had to rebuild their systems. So I would consider myself as what I'd call a pain in the ass hacker, right? Not a guy that was out. I was never the type of guy that would try to wipe data out or try to profit. It was more about the intellectual challenge and the adventure and the curiosity. So I regret that part, but I'm still a hacker today, and I love what I do. It's almost like it's not work. It's almost like it's just I wouldn't call it a game, but it's very intellectually stimulating. Maybe it's analogous to playing chess.
Oh, I see. What do you have on your desk?
Earlier I wanted to give you my business card. And what's really cool about my business card...
Very cool business card, indeed.
Yeah, it just has my name and address, all that. Yeah, that's not interesting. The interesting part is here, this is actually a tool set, right? So this is a lockpick set. So if you lock yourself out of your house, you lock yourself out of your office, just think of Kevin Mitnick and I'll open the door for you. So here you go.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Kevin. Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for the present.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
Come over again. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wiretap as a kid, and I figured that would be the NSA. So I hacked into a telephone switch in Laurel, Maryland. And this was actually the phone company. And then I was able, through hacking that switch, to be able to intercept an ongoing... Ed didn't give me the passwords, don't worry. No, I didn't actually break into the NSA. Actually, when I was a juvenile, I was interested in hacking into telephone company switches. So I thought, what would be the most interesting thing to
discuss this whole issue right now? And I'm joined live in the RT studio by Kevin Mitnick, one of the world's most renowned computer hackers. Kevin Mitnick, great to see you here.
Great to be on your show.
Well done. Okay, you're kind of a... The ongoing leaks from NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden cause more anger the more they emerge. People across the world are being shown just how much their private lives and private data are being monitored by intelligence services. And I can imagine here. So welcome to Moscow, welcome to RT, great to have you with us. So you actually broke into a national security agency. Tell us a little bit about this story. So why did you do it? When did you do it? How did you do it? Did you do it for fun?
Well,
Yeah, tell us.